Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. Yes, I'm still sort of sick. My voice isn't all the way back, which is probably better for all of you. Right now, joining us today, we've got David over here. We've got Max up here. So yeah, guys, we're living large since Wednesday. Yes.
Of course we are.
Yeah, big win, mate.
Up,
Yeah.
Flying high in 13th now.
Yeah. yeah. That's and you know we have a manager now too.
Yeah.
We do.
Do we celebrate that?
Yeah, fuck it. Come on. Big Sam's blue and white undies.
We're gonna be getting into all this, guys. So let us begin with giving a little reaction to the West Ham victory, guys. Who was actually at the game? Was either one of you at the game?
No, I didn't manage to go.
Yeah.
David, you were there. So
Yeah.
I guess David has earned it. So
Wow.
with
Yeah.
purely just being chilled to the bone. So Dave, what do you got? How was that? How did that work out?
It makes a change that earning the right to go. The game is a positive. Normally, that's like a punishment in my family. Like you go in the fucking game because it's shit. Yeah. It was a good win. But afterwards, I was trying to pinpoint really what was right, and I've come to the conclusion that was just a melee of things that kind of went our way. I think we looked up for it. I think the players looked up for it. I think West Ham aren't a great team at the moment. I do think they could possibly go down. I think they are that bad. Rooney was just unbelievable. Probably, United-esque performance from him. We scored at the right times as well. We had a penalty save. Unsworth's last game. Big Sam in the stands. I think everything just went our way. I think, and obviously that showed with a 4-0 win, which I did fancy us, funny enough, but I didn't expect us to win 4-0, especially after those two games that had come previously. So I think everything just went our way, and it was a long overdue victory.
Max.
Well, I feel like it was scrappy for the first 15-20 minutes. The game really was up in the air, and like from watching on the telly, the fans seemed to be quite. I don't know quite to describe it, but they did seem quite irate, like because the game was so scrappy. It was quite like an anxious atmosphere. But as you say, David, I think we did score at the right time. I feel like that penalty really did settle us down. And as you say, Rooney just pretty much ran the show from there. I really can't credit Wayne enough for that performance, because I've said I think it's the best performance we've seen from an Everton player so far this season.
I'd agree.
So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about, all right, was Rooney and the performance, because something was different,
Yeah.
all right? Rooney, I don't know if he lobbied for a new position. I don't know if he and Unsworth talked it over, and if it was, I don't know whose idea it was. I don't know if it's come out, but Rooney was much more deep. And he was playing kind of like a holding mid.
Yeah, I feel right. I feel like that's what he's tried to do every time he's played. I think that's part of the reason why he's not been a constant starter all season. Is that like when he's on the pitch, he'll run his socks off. So like, most of the games he's appeared in this season, he'll take a lot of touches in his own half. He'll be in his own half for a lot of the game. He puts a defensive shift in. So I just thought it was just a matter of that paying off, because you see a lot of Everton fans going, why is Rooney playing? Not even Everton fans. I mean, you see pundits and actual personnel saying you want to see Rooney in and around the opposition penalty area. But at the same time, I like when I was on TalkSport the other night, and I said, like, if who cares if he's halfway inside, if he's on the edge of his own box, if in so many seconds he can make his way down to the edge of the other box and slot one in, which he did for the second, if I'm not mistaken. It's brilliant. So as long as he puts in performances like that consistently, then I'm all for it.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say he's as most comfortable these days dropping in and collecting the ball around the halfway line, and he maybe is taking the ball into feet a bit further up, and I think he probably is pushing for that role. And you know, maybe it's been a wake up call for him these last few weeks. He found himself on the bench at United, and he's come back to his boyhood club, maybe to see himself as a starter every week. His performances haven't really warranted it, and he's found himself back on the bench. And then on Wednesday he's come out, he's been given the captaincy. I know he's had it a couple of times when players have went off. He maybe started captain one or two games, but that was probably the biggest game he's been Everton captain. So he's come on, and he's kind of, he's led the team out onto the pitch, and he's led the performance on the pitch as well. And he's probably proven something to the new manager coming in, that he's still got a job there. And from Allardyce's comments in the press conference, that he's set the bar, as Allardyce said himself now. So yeah, I think captaincy had a big thing for it. And I think he was playing for this position as well going forward under the new manager.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like early on, Koeman was answering the question. Wayne's going to be brought in to be a striker. I feel like that's what Koeman said really early on, and then you see Rooney trying to slice behind the defense to get through balls, and he just does not have the pace at this moment. He just doesn't have it. Oh. And when I saw that, I was sitting there thinking, well, there's got to be another way to involve him. Put him right behind the striker. That's what I thought. I thought it would be like a more traditional, not really a whole lot of defense involved. You know what I mean? But watching him, Max, you hit the nail on it when you said he's been playing a lot more defense this season. When how he's lined up on the wing sometimes?
Yes.
You see him tracking back and legitimately shutting down the other team's attack, and it happens. And you're right. And so I think this is a moment where, I mean, he could actually take over a game.
Yeah, like you said then, Gerry. The way it's almost as if he's much better when he's coming from deep. I feel like, and again, I did mention that this got talked about when I was on TalkSport. I think when Ross Barkley comes into that team, I feel like they could forge a bit of a partnership, I think, because Ross Barkley is another one of them players that you can't really pinpoint what his best position is, because no matter where he is on the pitch, everyone tries to try and criticise him. But I've always said I see him more of like a number 8 rather than behind the forward. I love it when Ross gets the ball and is able to turn and run into space. I feel like partnered with Wayne Rooney, I feel like that could be so effective in terms of defensively and going forward, because as we've seen from Wayne, that position and given that role, it can be really effective in terms of shutting the other team down. So, obviously, when Ross is fit again, if Ross comes back in, and if Sam says, listen, I want you to try and replicate kind of what Wayne does, if we manage to forge a partnership of that, I'd be a big fan of that.
Yeah. I think I've said to people around me that I think Barkley has been missed just as much as Lukaku this year, because people don't realise, they look at his assists and goals and say the bang average, but as you've just said there, Barkley's best position isn't behind the striker. It isn't. He is picking up the ball deep, and he's the outlet for getting that ball into the final third that we've missed all year. The only two ways Everton seem to know how to play when going forward is out to the wing backs pushing on, or Barkley picking it up and taking it through. We haven't had the wing backs because of obviously Coleman's injury, Baines not looking the player he was, so that outlet's been gone. We haven't been able to pump it up to Lukaku because we haven't got a Lukaku figure to hold it up. So Barkley, who would so often pick that ball up, hasn't been able to do it. And yeah, I agree. I think Rooney was doing a lot of that on Wednesday. And I mean, look at the difference in the play going forward. We looked a threat, and we scored 4 goals as well.
Yeah, we haven't really had a player that can literally pick the ball up around our box and then actually hold on to it, hold off the other players, and actually take it all the way to the other team's box and not get bumped off the ball. We haven't had anybody that can do that besides Ross. The only player that I've seen on our squad that could do that right now, Vlasic.
Yeah, fair
He's
point.
the only one that's actually got a little bit of speed and some strength to not get knocked off the ball like that. That was one of the things that I kind of wish we'd use him more like that.
Yeah.
And who knows, we might.
Or just
But I
use
guess
them
he'd have
more
to
full
play.
stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we made the same point at the same time.
I'd love that. I'd love this. Well, based on that performance from Wayne, I'd love it to lead to a bit of an evolution of our midfield in that we kind of change the shape of the midfield because like, I think me and Gerry have covered it. Like, and I when we were talking about Vlasic, because Gerry sees him more of a centre midfielder. I said the only reason why I probably don't see him as a centre midfielder is because I'm used to Everton playing two defensive midfielders all the time, no matter what the situation or no matter what the game is. So maybe we switch that dynamic up a bit and say, listen, we've got Wayne Rooney and Ross Barkley starting in centre midfield. You know, who knows? I mean, it might fail miserably, but you know, given what we've been like this season, you know, giving it a try, I don't think it'll do any harm.
That two holding midfielders has been a cancer at times this season. It's been, I mean, it might sound extreme, but it has been that bad. Especially when the players playing, they've been so out of form. i.e. Schneiderlin, even Gay. So, yeah, I mean, I've been calling for that. Although we said all this, didn't we? And then we went to Leicester and got absolutely torn apart when we tried to mix it up. But I still think there can be variations of the formations that can work. Yeah. I just didn't work that day, but yeah. The only problem is I'm not sure Rooney can still do that consistently.
I think that's probably he's in and out of the squad.
Yeah, I don't think he can ever be a starter. I think I've said on this before.
Not consistently anyway. So.
No, you can't have him playing every week. I think he's played too much football this season. He's had a little bit of a run out the team, and then he's having a performance like that. So just don't burn him out. We don't need to burn him out. If we want to get the best out of him, just don't burn him out.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of Rooney talk. However, we actually had other players playing. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yeah,
I barely did.
Back, yeah. They all getting carried by Rooney.
Who else had a good day?
John Joe Kenny.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. When I done the player ratings for the game, I said you could just see from that performance by John Joe Kenny how much he's matured from his run in the team. I feel like he obviously he's been by far the worst player on the pitch whenever, because you know, as you say, games like Leicester, games like Southampton where we've been poor, he's been far from the worst player on the pitch, but I feel like he's learned from them type of games in that, you know, he's been really defensively solid. He does get forward, but I think as our kind of system, as you know, I think as you said, David, our system in terms of the fullback going forward, it's not what it was. It's far from what it was. Mm-hmm. So I feel like Kenny was brilliant in terms of being, you know, really strong at the back.
Yeah. Kenny did play well, and you know, he has took some criticism over these few weeks, but rightfully so, because he's in the team and that's what you do. But yeah, I agree. I think he's a young lad, and you know, he has had quite a few good games as well as those bad ones. I thought he played well against Palace because he's playing up against some tough opposition there. Kenny, I thought Pickford again, clean sheet at last, great penalty save, and just the little things, the way he dominates that area. You're never nervous when the ball's coming in, are you? And bear in mind, we can see that shit headers over these last few weeks. You still fancy him to dominate that area. So, and even he's took some criticism recently, so I thought he played well. It was just a better Sigurdsson gets a mention as well.
With Sigurdsson, what I feel, he wasn't being played in his strongest position there. He was being played out wide, which, you know, I think as the more, not the more he gets exposed, but the more we see him play there, the more we realise he's not fulfilling his £45 million potential. So, like, you know, you see examples from like what he did against Southampton, where he was playing more central. You know, that goal was just a bit of magic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But like as you say, even though he was playing out of position, he managed to get the assist, didn't he?
Yeah, he seemed to have that extra yard. I thought, like, maybe it was just the effort. He was putting more effort in there, but he just seemed to be working so much harder. And then he had smarter movements on the ball, and I thought that was probably one of his better games since he's come, to be honest.
It was really weird because, as you say, as we've said, we had Rooney, but Rooney kind of had the license to roam free. So like with Rooney roaming free, I think the whole team kind of compensated for Rooney's movement in a way. So you know, I think I don't want to sound like we're repeating ourselves, but there's still. I mean, I think definitely we've got more of an idea after that game, but we still haven't got much of an idea of what our best 11 is and what our best formation is. So that's hopefully something that Sam can kind of figure out, which I've got no doubt. I think that's one thing definitely. I think he'll sort it out. Is he'll get a set in stone formation that he will be comfortable with. But yeah, as I say, the formation was really odd.
If we're going with that, which I agree with, by the way, this kind of covering for Rooney's kind of roaming, I think he seems to be doing a lot of work on the left-hand side of the pitch, certainly in the first half anyway. But yeah, he had a good game.
You mentioned that West Ham looked like shit. Right? If we were playing anybody else on Wednesday, all right, playing the way we played, all right, do we think we still would have gotten a result?
I don't know. That's quite a hard because as I said, I feel it was really scrappy in the first 15, 20 minutes. But I think from West Ham being so poor, I think that breeded confidence among our players. So I feel like they saw their defence all over the place and they thought we can really have a go here. But I don't know. Obviously we'll never know. But I'd probably go out on a limb and say because Rooney was just unplayable, and when Rooney's on that type of form, I think he can beat most teams on his own.
Yeah, I mean it's hard because it depends obviously who you're playing, but yeah, I just felt the whole night had the air of kind of freshness about it. It was like we knew the players knew what's what. Now we've got the manager coming in, Unsworth's going. It's all going to change, and it felt like they had just a bit more purpose about them. So it just felt like that's why I was confident we were going to get something. So yeah, I still think I think we're taking too much away from the players if we were to say that it was just because West Ham was shit. I think they still deserve some credit.
Yeah, I ask questions like that mainly because we have to address it, but I'm also aware that it would depend on the opposition. Playing somebody like City, no idea. You know what I mean? Probably
work it out.
But I do notice it's not like we just showed up. It's not like we just showed up and changed nothing. We showed up and tweaked some positions. We showed up and tweaked some formation, and we had some people playing that hadn't played in a little while. All right, so things were different. So I don't want to chalk it up to just, new day. Hey, Unsworth's last game. Let's really give our all for him. I don't want to say it's just that because there were some tactical changes, but at the same time, I don't want to put too much on that and say, hey, we're a new team here. We're, look out Europe. We're on it.
We're back again. We're back again.
Yeah, we're not quite there, but I do think that we could have given some teams that had maybe made us look bad in recent weeks. I think maybe it may have been a little different. I'm not going to say massive, but I think we may. I realize our Palace result wasn't bad, but I think we would have looked better against them.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. Anyway, all right. Well, I think we've banged on long enough about the West Ham game. Anything else? Any other words?
Because get in there.
Turn the season around.
Yeah, let's have a go. We won one there. Feel like we haven't won enough here, so I'm gonna enjoy that one. And I did.
That deserves to be enjoyed. So we'll enjoy it.
Yeah, 4-0, clean sheet, happy days.
Yeah, it would have been the perfect day if I hadn't been lying sick on my couch while I watched. So, literally, I couldn't enjoy it. It was terrible.
I've got a cold as well. I just don't moan about it like Gerry. I just get on with it, Like, just got me medicine in me there, and I just keep it professional, not like Gerry over there.
David's right. David's right. I shouldn't talk about the fact that I had a fever. So I guess that wraps up our West Ham reaction. We're happy. Super happy. But we're not going to get carried away with it.
No, not this time.
Yeah, because we got to start talking about Sam in about 2 minutes. Lots of Sam talk coming, everybody. So, strap in. If you're digging the videos, please like, subscribe, comment. Tell us what you thought about the big West Ham match. And in a little while, you can tell us all the stuff you think about Sam. All right? Check out David's stuff. You can find it on the Sportsman and on the Toffee Blues website. What's the newest article?
I had one go out today regarding
It was the one about management calling out their supporters, right?
Yeah. The psychological reasoning behind the saying. Just read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ask David to summarize it. He's not into it.
Yeah.
So
wrote that a few days ago, so he just went up.
Also, check out Max's stuff on the Toffee Blues website, all right? He's what was the latest one that you just did?
The latest one, I mean, the latest proper piece that I did was on Vlasic, but I done player rating the other night, and I'm popping up on TalkSport every now and again. So if you're up at 1 o'clock in the morning and you've got nothing else to do, you probably hear my voice.
That's right. These guys just show up on TalkSport all the time.
I mean, if you're not up, just set your alarm and get up anyway. Be a sport.
Be a nice person.
Yeah.
All right, but that's it. Come back. We got more videos, lots of Big Sam stuff, all right? So, bye.